Hey YouTube, this is Barrett from RProgrammingTutorials.com, and today we are going to be covering basic data types in R. So far we've only been working with numbers, and today we're going to branch out. We're going to branch out into what are called character data types, logical data types, and complex data types. Now, complex data types aren't going to be as applicable across the board for as many viewers, and I'm just going to cover them for completeness. But the other two, logical data types and character data types, are extremely useful, and as are the numeric data types. So we already know number data types, so we can create a variable called x equals 5, and that represents the number 5. But what if we wanted to create a variable that represented the word cat? So we put in quotes cat, and it's important to note that cat is in quotes. That's what makes it a character data type. Now y represents the word cat. So if you're ever in R and you want to create a word, like say you're creating some graph and you want to put a title on it, you need to use a character data type. So you know that you need to put it in quotes. Now, the character data type doesn't just have to include letters. It can also include numbers. It just represents text, and text can include numbers. So we could have z equal to the text 1, 2, 3 in quotes. And then we have z, and it's text. Now note, because z is a character data type, you can't do z plus 8, you get an error because you have a non-numeric, which means it's not a number, and you're trying to add it to 8. So you're trying to add something that is text to 8, and that doesn't work out in R. So we have looked at character data types, and we see how to create them with quotes. Let's do a few more examples just to pound it into your head. We can say that z, we're going to redefine z as equal to 4, 5, b, l, a, t, 5. Now z, we can print it out, and we see that that is equal to the character data type 4, 5, blat 5. The second type of data that we can look at is called logical data. Now, logical data, it's not going to seem that useful at this second, but we need to talk about it when we're covering the basic data types, because it's going to come in handy later, and you're going to look back as you go through this YouTube series, and you're going to say, oh, wow, like I'm glad he covered that, because now I know what he's talking about. So the logical data type it represents true or false. So if I said your birthday is on September 24th, 2015, that would either be true or false. Either you were born on September 24th or you weren't. So either it's your birthday or not. If it is your birthday, that's true, and if it's not your birthday, that's false. So that represents the two values that a logical data type can take on. And the way we represent that value is we say that W equals true in all uppercase letters. Now W holds the value of true. We could say that W is equal to false. Now W holds the value false. So that's what that represents. It just represents to R something that is true or false. And it's going to come into play later when we deal with control structures, when we deal with logic, anything that we deal with. You just need to know that there are character data types which represent text, there are logical data types that represent true or false, and then the third thing that we're going to look at is called complex numbers. So the complex data type, that represents complex numbers in math, and if you've never studied complex numbers, then this doesn't even apply to you. If you do in the future, then I'm glad you know it. But we can do 1 plus 5i. Okay, that represents the complex number whose real term is 1 and whose imaginary term is 5. Okay, so again, if you don't know what a complex number is, it doesn't matter. But if you do, then wow, you know that R supports complex numbers. So you can create one. You just do 3 plus 7i, and you get 3 plus 7i as the complex number. And you can do all kinds of arithmetic with them. You can do 3 plus 4i times 5 plus 6i, and you get negative 9 plus 38i, and it performs the correct complex operation on that. Okay, so that's pretty much concluding working with different data types in R. We're starting to slowly get to the point. Our next lesson is on vectors, which are going to be extremely, can't stress this enough, useful. And we're just about there. We're starting to ramp up, gain momentum, and I'm extremely excited because these introductory videos are kind of tedious for me because I feel bad because, you know, I know the viewers are like this isn't useful, you know, whatever, and I want to provide so much value, and I can't wait for the next video because it's really going to ramp up quickly, and it's going to be simple if you just follow along, and it's not going to be complicated. So check out the next video, subscribe to the channel, and check out RProgrammingTutorials.com. Got a lot of excellent articles on there. Got an ebook that offers practice problems and solutions. It's linked to all the content so that you know how to do the problems. Everything works together. It's all part of a larger piece. If you're on YouTube right now and you're watching the series, you gotta be in, you're just watching a small chunk of a much larger piece of content. RProgrammingTutorials.com. I'm Barrett. I'm doing well right now. I hope you're doing well. Have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good morning, whatever time of day it is for you. And I appreciate you watching this video. Thanks.